All right, so I'm on my way to Camas, Washington. I live in Ridgefield, so it's about a 30-minute drive. On my way to drill with a 4.25, just me and her. Never met her before. One of my coaches connected us, said that we'd be good drilling partners. So on my way to see what this is going to be like. I'm not a 4.25. Well, I just actually this morning, after I played in a tournament yesterday, I raised my level to a 4.25. I've been calling myself a 4.0. So, am I a 4.25? Am I a 4.0? Am I a 3.5? I don't know. According to the people that I play with, I'm about a 4.25. So, we'll see how this goes. I got a half an hour drive. I wanted to just take some time to just introduce myself to everyone that might be watching. If you are watching, I appreciate it. So I'm 40 years old. I'm originally from upstate New York. I was raised in a small town called Cortland, New York. It's a party town. Syracuse University, Ithaca College, Cornell University, SUNY Cortland. It's a state college. They're all within, like, Cortland is the hub, and they're all in the surrounding 20-mile area. So it's a really, really popular area for college students to come and party. I always tell people my main street of my small town had about 20 bars on it and restaurants, and that's it. So I grew up in an interesting culture. A lot of my friends now have turned into alcoholics and drug addicts because they stayed in town, and there really isn't much else to do there other than party. I left when I was 21. I joined the Navy, and I got stationed out in Southern California, where I met my ex-wife. We were married for 13 years. She had a 2-year-old daughter when I met her. We've had 3 kids together. So I have 3 daughters and a boy. My boy is 6, he's my youngest. And then I have a 9, 15, and 19-year-old daughter. Aside from being a dad 50% of the time, because I only have my kids 50% of the time, I have a business. I've owned my own company for 10 years. I have a marketing business where I help people manage their customers and create customer service and follow up, that kind of thing. I only work about 1 to 2 hours a day, which gives me a lot of free time. I did play a lot of racquetball before COVID. After COVID, a couple friends of mine that I played racquetball with introduced me to pickleball. So I started playing pickleball last spring with them, and I just played, on and off, super casual. We didn't even know the rules really, up until about September of last year, when I found this app called Playtime Scheduler. That it's like a meetup app, but it got me connected with all of the people that play in my area locally. And since then, I've been playing a lot more. It's still been rec play, but I've been taking it more seriously. I say I started as a 3.0 just because I'm pretty athletic and I had some racquetball background. And up until this morning, I've worked my way from 3.0 to 4.0 pretty much since November till now. So it's a little bit of my background. My divorce was just before COVID, so I moved out. I was married for 13 years. I moved out of my house I was living in with my ex-wife and my kids in February of 2020, and then a month later COVID happened, and was playing racquetball about 5 days a week, and that was really my outlet. So COVID started, all the gyms shut down, so I didn't really have anything to do. Nobody did, right? I started playing a little bit of tennis over that summer, and then my buddies, when the gyms opened back up, I just went back in and they were there, and I said, hey, what have you guys been up to? And they said, oh, we've been playing a little bit of pickleball outside because the gyms are closed. And so that's how I got introduced to it. It's addicting. If you're here, you know that. So I try to play 4 to 6 hours a day, every day, which is a lot. But I have the free time and I love it. So I play 4 to 6 hours a day. And over the last couple months, I've been drilling a lot more than I've been playing. I actually like drilling more than playing at this point because it's hard to find good play in my area. It's a lot easier to find a drilling partner and to practice things and still get a lot of fun out of it versus showing up and having 12 people show up and 2 people can muddy up the game, and what may have been a really good matchup turns into 3 good players and 1 bad player, and it can take the fun out of it. So unless at this point, unless there's like I'm being invited to like a group of people all on the same skill level, or I'm going to drill and then maybe play a couple of games afterwards, I tend to not show up to just like general rec play as much anymore. It's about time management. Let's see. So I went to art school after the Navy. I was a cook in the Navy for 4 years. I watched when I was a kid. I grew up in the 90s, and Under Siege was one of my favorite movies, and I wanted to be can't think of his name now, Steven Seagal. I wanted to be Steven Seagal in Under Siege, and so I like cooking too. So I wanted to be a chef, and I didn't have any money. I grew up poor, so when I decided to join the Navy, it was because I wanted to go to cooking school on the West Coast, basically get as far from home as possible. And I knew that the military would pay for it, so I went in as a cook, not knowing that was one of the lowest rated jobs in the Navy. And so I went in, and I didn't fit in. A lot of the people that I worked with were forced into the cooking position because they did something wrong, and anybody can be a cook in the military, and so they will, if you do something wrong, or if you mess up, or if you go in undesignated, they put you in as a cook. So a lot of misfits and people that didn't necessarily want to be there versus one of the more higher skilled areas that take a year of training in order to just get into. So that was really challenging for me because I'm all about efficiency and drive and growing and learning, and I take things, I'm a Capricorn, so I take work very seriously, and I just didn't fit in with the group that I was with. So I struggled for the 4 years that I was in. It felt like prison. And I had also just gotten married and had a baby, so I went from being single, 21, living on the East Coast, to being 22 with 2 kids and married and in the military. So after I did that, me and my ex-wife, we moved to Orange County, where she's from, and I went to art school. I decided I didn't want to be a cook anymore after the military, so I went to art school to learn how to do visual effects for movies. Because I was living right outside of LA, and I figured, why not work on movies? That'll be cool. And I like using the computer. natural to me. So I went to school for that, graduated, got my bachelor's degree, and then we were pregnant with my third daughter when we decided to move out of Orange County. So it was either move to the East Coast where my family is, or stay on the West Coast where her family was. And since I'd already been gone for like 10 years or whatever, we just decided to stay on the West Coast. So we literally just kind of just like picked a city that was north, because I mean Orange County is, you know, pretty much the south as you can get. So we went north and ended up just choosing Portland because it was a little bit more rural than San Francisco, and it was the next city in line, really. So we moved to Washington, just in Vancouver, just right outside of Portland, and I've been here since. And I've been here for almost 10 years now. It was really hard for me to meet people when we moved up here because she doesn't have any family here. I didn't know anybody here. I started my company a year after we moved out here, and I was working from home, and we just had another baby, so we had, you know, 3 toddlers, and I'm working from home, and anybody that has kids knows you're pretty much on lockdown when you have kids. It's really hard to get out and make friends other than, you know, other parent activities. So I wasn't really able to make any friends out here until my divorce. You know, I made a couple of friends playing racquetball, and then now that I have pickleball, I've met so many cool people. So that's what I love the most about this game, is the social aspect. I also love to learn and grow, and I really love that pickleball has a high skill cap, and it's got a really nice curve in terms of skill. Anybody can go in and play and have a good time, but if you want to be a top player, that's where that curve comes in, right? Because all of a sudden, you know, playing for 6 months, you got some skill, you can go out there and have a good time. But if you want to be a consistent good player, now you have to put reps in, and you have to learn the nuances of the game. And there's just so many little nuances in pickleball that you can learn and practice that I'm always working on something. Every time I go out on the court, I'm working on an aspect of my game. I'm one of those people that I don't care if I win or lose as much as I care about being strategic, and if that's working on a new shot, or it's working on just hitting the people's backhands, or maybe I'm working on hitting a drive serve. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm always intentional when I'm playing, and so I don't care if I win or lose, and I lose a lot because of that. I'm definitely not driven to be competitive. I when I go out, I like to smile. I like to have fun, and if I'm not having fun, then either I'm tired and I need to go home, or I'm not playing with the right people. So being in a more competitive environment with these higher level players has definitely been a shift for me, because they want to win. You know, when you get to like the 4-5 play, people are there to win, and they bring that intensity when they show up on the court, and that's new for me. I never played sports growing up. I had asthma, and we were just poor. My mom worked, a lot of the time my mom worked 2 jobs, and my dad wasn't around, and so I didn't have access to play sports even if I wanted to, which I didn't really want to because I was a chubby little kid with asthma. So I never played sports growing up. The first sport that I ever played was racquetball 5 years ago. The first time I've ever been in any kind of a competitive environment in sports was yesterday when I played in like a little community tournament and I got first place. And I tell you what, being out on the court with everybody watching and that level of intensity and focus was intense. I'm still coming down from it. Yeah, this is my life right now. So I'm driving a half an hour to go drill and play. I already played this morning. I drilled for 2 hours this morning. I'm gonna go play for another 4 hours. I don't have my kids today, so pickleball is what I'm doing today. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. I recently got a puppy. Guess what I named her? I named her Pickles. Yeah, so I dream about pickleball. I was actually up all night last night dreaming about my game, my tournament game. So if you're here and you're watching, it's because you dream about pickleball too. And it's probably taken over a bit of your life. And you're like me and you're thinking about it 24/7 and you're playing as much as you can. So I hope you like the channel and the content. And if there's anything you want to see or if there's anything you want to know, I'm an open book. So just ask. And I was just thinking about this on the drive. I think I'm going to do lives when people ask questions. I'll get a bunch of questions together and I'll do lives and I'll answer questions on lives. That way it's I don't know, I just think that would be entertaining for myself and for you guys if you get to see my reaction to comments on a live. So just expect that. So yeah, I'll check you guys later. Have a good one.